Just gotta copy this
There
puppy.
we go. This is working now.
Alright, so there's a link to our training pub. So that specifies certain minimums for equipment, things that you cannot have less than. And the unit policy manual section on loadouts lists the maximums of things that you cannot have more than such and such of things. We're pretty lax about that with magazines of weapon ammunition and things like smokes, particularly. Other stuff like frag grenades or other equipment items are obviously less lax, just like they are around the rest of the unit. You know, you're plenty familiar with that. That hasn't changed in oodles of ages.
Do you guys not like using micro daggers?
I mean, it's never really come up.
Oh, I just wondered because I noticed that you guys use the vectors, but micro daggers are really good with vectors. Most of the time you're going to be
we don't
using...
have a need for it really because we're
Right.
in the track.
Right. That makes sense.
If we were doing routine fist work, where we had a JTAC along with us or JFO, and we're trying to coordinate fires from the track, then yeah, they'd probably be turned out of my seat using
Hey, Taylor.
using that sort of stuff to figure out the grid, far target. But that's actually something. It's funny that you mentioned that because the M1A1 is supposed to, but in our case does not have what it's supposed to, which is a far target locator device to actually do exactly that job from within the tank. So that would be covered by your systems. What's up, Belgrave?
What's our policy on splints? How many are we allowed to carry? Or are they
there isn't really policy on that right now.
I'm probably going to carry like 5.
Okay, grab all the popsicle sticks you need.
Where is my Allen wrench? I need my Allen wrench. Can I get my Allen wrench
for you? Sit at your computer, aren't you?
Yep. I just noticed my right fucking armrest is loose.
Oh yeah, you could end up verting yourself. That's a scary thing to do.
I don't know where my Allen wrench is. I'm gonna cry. Just kidding. It's probably in the garage. I thought I had one in here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just adjusting my loadout because of the new medical shit. I haven't put any morphine or anything over it, and I just picked up some splints and adjusted my bandages. Alright, I'm Gucci.
Okay. Okay, so just some basic things to go through just to get started. Organizationally, our crews are very flat structured, as you may have noticed, in that it's just basically a TC and 2 crewmen. We don't really specify jobs within there, and it's not like one's higher than the other or anything like that. It's even more so than that. Our PL and our PS are just they're 2 of the track commanders are the platoon sergeant and the platoon leader. So the structure here is exceptionally flat administratively, and you have a very simple situation there because your chain of command, if you're looking for it, is always just Rush, who's already a section leader, and then me if anything needs to go upwards from there. So that you're aware of where we report to, because this is often a point of confusion with people. We are an independent attached portion of the ground combat element, and that means that we are not part of India Company. Their company command reports to the same place that we do, which would be as the leader of the battalion landing team, it would be the battalion commander. We don't have a battalion commander present, so that defaults upwards to the XO of the unit. So we all kind of report to Caulfield as our next step up. In game, though, we regardless of the positions of the vehicle, because tanks technically have 4 and AAVs can vary. with the positions that are available, but we kind of standardize everything to keep everything together. Track commander, driver, gunner, the basic stuff that you need. Often with the numbers that we have, TC folds into one of the other spots and ends up being both the driver and the TC, or the gunner and the TC, depending on their preference. So some of these duties get shared, but the TC is obviously responsible for what the vehicle does, and that includes final fire and hold fire authority on everything. They should be the person monitoring the tactical situation. So as you get more experience with what you're doing here, and you start getting into that, you'll start to see the importance of paying attention to your Blue 4 tracker and coordinating with other sections to ensure that you are not responsible, because it will be you directly, personally, responsible for any fratricide incidents, even if your gunner does it. I've caused a couple fratricide incidents to happen where I was not the gunner, but my inattention as a TC caused it to occur, and it's really irritating to have that happen. So there's a certain amount of responsibility there on TCs. They're also basically processing target identification and prioritization for the gunner to assist them in that task, because that can be quite a big thing. Gunner focuses kind of like the TC is kind of like the spinning top of observation, looking at stuff here and there to try to figure out what needs to be prioritized. The gunner's a telescope. The gunner is focused on exactly what they need to be focused on, and their attention is directed by the needs that they see and augmented by what the TC is telling them to point at to focus on things. So that's, they're really telescopic that way, and obviously their field of view is very limited and very far out. So they're really good for getting that longer look at stuff. The driver complements all that by having that responsibility for everything in immediate adjacency to the track. That includes, in a lot of cases, knowing when infantry is really close and when they could be, say, overpressured by the tank barrel and things like that. While the TC has final authority on that stuff, he might be buried in his sights as well. And a really good driver will tend to do things or say things to aid the rest of the crew in dealing with stuff. You're either just moving out of the way if they're okay, if they've been okayed to do that, or yelling out to hold fire if there's infantry right in front of the barrel or something like that. Operationally, depending on the vehicle that we're in, we always identify with our crew number as the second number, or in the last part of our call sign, basically. And if we're in AAVs, that gets prefixed by a 1. If we're in tanks, it gets prefixed by a 2. So 1-1 would be me in an AAV. 2-4 would be you in a tank in your normal crew. If we bail out and we have to operate on foot for whatever reason, then we're either crew something. That's a little ambiguous, so I've been lately going with team as our call sign. So I'd call up as Team 1, as we had to do before when we got dipped in the water.
Hey, Taylor, real quick. There's no cup required for the mod set, right?
Not required, no.
Sorry, Marston was just asking.
No, it's okay. I just saw a message from him as well. So, oops. Minimum equipment, blah blah blah, Scooby-Doo, etc. There's plenty of stuff at this MTTP that's good to reference, and there's some more stuff that Rush is working on putting together. Some of it will be a training and readiness manual that will be separate from this, and some of it is things that need to be in here because they directly deal with the combat employment of armor. So stay tuned. Some of that we're hopefully going to be publishing soon. Once my work schedule calms down, we can work on integration with that material. Okay. Any questions about basic shit? Organizational shit, stuff like that?
Negative.
Okay, cool. So let's go do the AA driver's course. On the sign here, if you scroll wheel and you pick the option to go to the AA driver course, that's where we're going. Put my dome on my dome. Hey, there we are. Okay, So if you guys want to hop in the other seats, I'll hop in as the driver real quick. Belgrade, if you want to like take the gunner seat, maybe.
Okay.
All right. Oh shit! It's got. Haha! I need to turn that off.
What's up?
For some reason, mouse steering is enabled on this computer build. I need to make that go away. Oh yeah. I do not need that. More left, more right. Ooh. Nah, it's still fucking on. God damn it. Better not be anywhere in here.
So, I think I'm going to accept.
Okay, cool. Okay, what's still causing this? This is really weird. Maybe this is borrowing some weird shit. Shouldn't be. Okay, I think I turned it. Oh, nope, it still goes to the right. Why? Oh, because I didn't delete it properly. Yeah, okay. You know, if I wasn't dumb, I'd be a genius. Alright, so with the AAV, one of the things that really irritated me about that is that because we're so loud, typically, we tend to avoid starting up our engines and moving around when we have infantry around, unless we actually have to. So we're cautious about that, and we're also careful about going fast. So knowing where your speed limiter button is a really helpful thing to know. For instance, right now, I need to rebind that as well. That's cute.
I had the speed limiter set on and off during that whole op just now, so.
Good. Yeah, it's a. What the fuck is that under?
Delete.
No, what the fuck is it under?
Vehicle movement.
Is it? Ah, it's ACE vehicles. Never mind. Got it. Okay. So, like, that's our standard onboard ship movement speed is turn it on while parked. But do be careful because it does not work when you're reversing. So you tend to go very slow forward and get used to that, and then when you go to reverse, you end up yeeting backwards, which is a little scary. Okay, so this AA driver's course is designed to kind of exhibit some... Did Marston make it in here? Okay, he's loading. Belgrave, can you let me know when he's loaded?
Yeah, well done.
Okay, thanks. Alright, so this course is designed to show most of the characteristics of the AAV when it's driving. It's very nimble, it's very quick to go because it has quite a powerful diesel engine for its construction, being that it's an all aluminum vehicle, apart from the plates on the side. So it's got a lot of get up and go, but it also has a lot of funny characteristics that go with that. It likes to spin out on you more than anything else, which is very noticeable in this course. Construction-wise, actually, that's worth mentioning real quick. So this thing is, the whole hull itself is a hard aluminum. And it's, as would be expected, thickest towards the front, so it can deal with fairly decent enemy fire from the front. 7.62s will tend to ping away, unless it's a direct hit. 50 cals will tend to ping away, but direct 50 cals straight into it will tend to cut through fairly well. And as you get around to the sides and the back, things that are even less than 50 cal, like 7.62, will start to cut into the sides and the rear of the vehicle. So this is an exceptionally vulnerable vehicle. However, one of the nice features it does have armor-wise is those ribbed plates on the side. Those are the enhanced armor applique kit, which are made out of composite steel. And those are designed specifically to deflect and disrupt the directed energy of shaped charge explosives like RPGs. So those will protect us against things like that have like a relatively low actual firing velocity, but have a high penetrative nature due to their explosive warhead. On the other hand, things that just go fast, like tank rounds, will cut straight into us, because they're really not disrupted very much by the EWAK. So it's important to know this thing is extraordinarily vulnerable for an armored vehicle. It's not nearly as armored as most people think.
He went to the wrong place. Hold up, I'll get him.
Okay.
The fuck did he go?
Where the fuck is he?
Chuckle.
Right here.
Oh, you're here. Alright, you're here. Alright.
Oh, okay.
I accidentally hit the wrong one by accident.
That's alright. Hey, you can hop in the back and turn out and you'll hear what's going on. You can turn out back there. Hey, there you go.
This seat does.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. That way you can actually hear vice versa, because otherwise there's like no comm between back and front. Anyway, I was just describing armor characteristics of the vehicle and the spinny, weird driving characteristics of the vehicle, and we'll do a little demo run here and show Chavez basically what it looks like. This way, Chavez, you can get a look at what the course does, and hopefully remember it a little bit as you go through it. There's arrow boards to guide you, but it's helpful to have a run through. So, here goes. It's going to be, Belgrave, it's going to be so weird doing this with more than 8 frames.
I know. It's gonna be lovely, ain't it?
It's going to be very strange. I'm either going to understeer or oversteer.
You're doing pretty well.
Oh, under.
Oh.
Okay, now I know what's going on. Alright. Make this turn. Cut through the wall. Cut through the other wall. An important thing to remember with track... Oh, that echo is really killing me. It is Chavez. It's your mic's coming back into, or your speakers are coming back into your mic.
The reason why, it's something about your voice in particular. It's got enough volume and the timbre behind it. Okay.
You are not used to weird frames. Really not.
No, it's really very strange.
This microphone is very, very sensitive, and it just hears. It's just hearing you come through my earphones.
Important thing about tracked vehicles like this is that your turning depends very much on power input. And if you are putting in a lot of forward power, it's going to turn you in a different way than if you're... I'll have to talk when we're done with this because I can't function with that.
Let me just turn your volume down.
Why don't infantry do this very often?
Do what? It's we almost forbid it pretty much.
Yeah, it's not permitted. So one thing about this obstacle, Chavez, that you'll see is that this is about getting a good bite on a weird surface, being able to use that to leverage yourself, and being aware of where the hull stops and the tracks begin. There's a large jutting out portion of hull in the front of the vehicle, and that obstacle is designed to show how to avoid catching hull and how to be aware of how to use your tracks and their positioning to leverage yourself over obstacles that would otherwise be impassable if you try to get at them straight on. That was not my best run.
Taylor, once this is done, you'll need to approve the transfer from your side.
That's fine. We'll get to that. I'm not really worried about that right now because we're in the middle of a training.
Yeah, that's why I said when you're done.
Let's talk about it when we're done. Okay. What was I going to say before? I was talking about something. Oh, yes. Turning via track power with this thing. An important thing to remember is that you're basically simulating turning by applying more or less power to one side or the other. That doesn't work the same way in a car, because you're applying power separately, and then you tell the front wheels to go left or right a certain amount. Like that's what we're used to thinking of when we're thinking of turning. With these, it is application of power on either side of the vehicle. So if you're stationary, then it's easy to turn by just applying power in one direction on one side and power on the other side, or nothing on one side and power on the other side. You can either do it opposite directions, or in this case, the way it's doing it is by backing the outboard track on the turn. If you're actually applying forward power, or you're just moving forward, it's going to accomplish the same effect by increasing power on the outboard track. It's going to kick that side around faster to pull it around the inboard side. If you're applying maximum forward power, the only way it can do that is by reducing power on the inboard track and dragging that. So with this vehicle, that tends to make it spin out like that, because it's very, very sensitive to that once that drag effect starts taking place. It's important to remember that because you can change the ratio of how tight your turn is by either applying power while turning to get a really wide turn, or dropping power while you're turning to get a really tight turn out of the vehicle, or reducing power entirely, and then you can get an exceptionally tight turn that way, because then you're barely moving forward at all. So bear that in mind as you're doing it, because application of power in turns is a key feature of how this course goes. Alright?
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to pop out. You can slide into my seat. Okay, I can do it this way as well. And, where the fuck is my phone? Hello. So this thing is sort of timed. There is a pass time, but don't worry about that. Your first trip through, unless it just ends up being blisteringly good, is basically experience. It's basically getting used to the way that this thing bucks on you and getting comfortable with it. So whenever you're ready, you can proceed.
Chonk. Having fun back there, Master?
There you go.
Well, I haven't been decapitated by a limb, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, there's an arrow board there that's non-destructible.
You're more likely to get decapitated by a bullet.
Alright, there you go. Pull it back around the other side. See, that's a good time for a power off turn. Well done. That's much better. Whoa, nope, you're not going that way. Where are you going?
Sorry, I don't remember where I was supposed to go.
Keep going until you see the arrow board.
See, there's an arrow board indicating left at the end of the run. There you go. Another arrow board for this alley. Good control. Got the gap. Good one. Also good. Very smooth. Whoop. Oh,
Crunch.
there goes Muhammad's wall. Ah. Good work through there. I like that. Power off turns. Power off turns. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Straight up the end. Rock.
Congratulations, you just damaged a very expensive piece of military equipment. Coming out of your paycheck.
Good control through there. That's nice. Of course, we're not zinging along at top speed, but this is a great opportunity to practice slow and build it up to that. I'm liking that. Whoop. There go all those. Yeah, so you're hucking up over this thing. Nope, don't hit that. You're going up and over. And to the left. Wow, you actually... Okay, that was new. Alright, good job. Watch out for the rocks at the bottom, because those will stop you. Okay.
Just like that.
Yep. You gotta figure out how to wiggle your way off of those, because you got hull in the front. Cool.
So, I'm pretty sure it was just desync, but on my screen we completely fucking flipped over.
Oh, really?
That's why I started panicking.
We just kind of went, boom, and bunny hopped up in the air, which was new for me. I've never seen that happen on that obstacle before. It was a bit fresh.
Now, punch it down here.
Ricky fresh. That's a really nice kill box in there. I don't know why MSOT doesn't use that.
It's not super secret squirrel enough for them. Alright, and out the gate here. And that would be the end of that. Alright, so not
I'm
bad.
gonna get my timer up.
I got one up too. You can pull it back.
Can you repair the tracks?
Oh, are they digged up?
Both of them are.
You got it, Belgrave?
Yeah. That fix it?
Good.
How did that happen? Oh, that was probably from the bunny hop. Okay. That would make sense.
That's all fixed now?
Alright.
Yep, they were damaged before that.
We comfy?
Yep.
Alright, so take the same smoothness that you're building up there. You had a lot of smooth going through the second half of that especially, which is very nice. So just take the same thing and just kick it up in the speed area, and you'll be doing real well. Okay?
Good.
Whenever you're ready.
I had the speed limiter on the first half.
Ah.
Why?
I think you just didn't want to overspeed it. I get it. Just getting used to the vehicle. That's not a bad idea, honestly.
What's the pass time again, Taylor?
3 and 15. Watch out for the non-destructibles. There you go. Power off, power off, power off. There you go. Power off, power off, power off, power off.
Chunk.
Power on. Skid turn. Oof.
That's coming out of your paycheck as well.
Paying a lot of vouchers here.
Yeah, here's a Chuck E. Cheese voucher valued at $2.
Pretty good control up to that. Not bad. Okay. Not bad. Nice. Banging up the end. Ooh. Big heavy heavy skiddy turn. Man, those guys don't even have houses and you're knocking down their fence.
Well, that's their fault for building a fence over a house.
Ooh. Alright. Up the ovary.
Climb, you fat bitch. Come on. Come on.
Alright.
Get the butt. Get the butt.
He's working it. Ah, not bad.
Oh,
that was quick. Go. Wiggle for it, wiggle for it, wiggle for it. Yeah. Nice. Good work.
You can do it. You can do it.
Tuck to the left. Alright. Bang it, bang it, bang it.
Bird killing skills are remarkable.
Huh?
What?
What'd you say?
Nothing. Disregard.
Tactical rock.
That's the rock. Yep. Oh, oh, oh.
Alright.
Well, the good thing is that you passed.
That's a pretty good thing. I mean, that's not a good news, bad news. That's a good news, good news.
That's what I mean. The good thing is that you passed.
Alright, you can, if you pull forward and turn it to the right and park the thing, then that would be awesome.
Marston, you want to stick your head back in?
Punk.
Punk.
Alright, that's good. Alright, turn in, get out. Cool. So, 3 and 2 out of 3 and 15, so that's not bad at all. Nice driving. Let me write that
3
down.
and 2 as well.
We've got a little bit of a
fucking Nelson stole my fucking time.
semi-competitive leaderboard in our area of the forum, so we try to mark down everybody's times, and some people come back and knock out some really good ones. Yeah, Belgrave had a really good one, and then Nelson just fucking slammed it. But then again,
what did he get? 217.
Nelson actually maintains AVs in real life, so he's entitled to that. Chavez. Okay, wrote that down. Cool. We good with driving stuff?
Yep.
Cool. AV gunnery is next. Did you have a chance to set some stuff up, Belgrave?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay.
When I ping over there, I'll start doing stuff.
You might have to aim at the sides of this to get it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be range 6. Range 6. Yurt?
I'm just going to sit in the back.
Okay, that's fine. Chavez, if you want to jump in the gunner seat straight off. And you can have the TC seat, Marston.
Ooh, I feel special.
Yeah. Alright. Let's pull this up a little bit. Well, Belgrave's going to set up a couple thingy-majiggies for us to shoot at. So you can get used to your weapon system. Alright. So, I hadn't talked about the UGWS yet. That is the upgun weapon station that you are sitting in right now. It is a independently elevating set of the 50 cal and the M2 50 cal machine gun and the Mark 19 40 millimeter automatic grenade launcher. Both of those have an effective target range out to about 1.5 clicks. What's the thing range for on that? Sorry. Yeah, 1.5 for our purposes. Nominally, it's 2 clicks, but it's in both cases, depending on what you're hitting at, depending on what you're shooting at, you can get up to that range. But what you're shooting at determines very much the difference in what you're using to hit it, including ranges and movement. How are you with enemy vehicle identification, Chavez?
I'm fine.
Fine? So,
fine.
What's the difference between the front row in front of us and the row behind it?
Sorry, hold on. I don't have enough gun depression to look at it, so I'm third person.
Yeah, third person's good.
It's tracked versus wheeled.
What are they called?
BMPs and BTRs. The BMPs are tracked, BTRs are wheeled.
Awesome, good stuff. Can you define the different types of the front row?
Yep. The one all the way to the right is the worst one, in terms of how good it is. Let's see, the one in the middle is the deadliest one, the one on the... Yeah, one in the middle is the deadliest one, and the one in the back is the... What is that, the 70, and then the middle one's the 80 Alpha? I don't remember the difference. I know the
yes, that's good enough.
Rocket. I think the Rocket is what's the different one. I don't remember which one is the 80 Alpha and the 70.
So let's not go fishing, and we'll just sort stuff out. So in the back row,
I just call them bad.
Yeah, no, I understand. So for identification purposes, these are the things for an AAV operator that you need to have clear distinctions among everything in these two ranks. So along the back row from left to right, you have the BTR 60, which is the tall boy. It's got those taller sides on it. Whoa, Jesus Christ, Belgrave. Hey, I needed those.
Oh, sorry.
Damn it.
I thought you were done because I heard you talking about the BTRs.
No, I figured I'd work upwards. So BTR 60 is the old...
Oh.
That was scary. BTR 60 is the oldest puppy there, and it's got its 13.5 millimeter machine gun. That's pretty... You know, they can hurt. They can definitely track us, but they're not going to do too much unless they're cutting through and actually injuring people from the sides of the rear. We can kill those okay. Same thing with the BTR 70, just to the right of it, and the regular old BTR 80 to the right of that. The one all the way to the right is the BTR 80 Alpha, the 80A. That's identifiable by the 30mm Shippanov autocannon on top. That is very bad news because that thing can destroy us in like one burst and just render us completely immobile and able to be destroyed. I mean, it can fix us very, very, very fast. So those... we can still kill. They're just as lightly skinned as every other BTR out there, but we tend to be very cautious about it, and we will kill them while running away, is kind of how I put it with them. The other ones we can just kind of kill, as long as we're a bit careful. But those we kill while running. Good with BTRs?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So the BMPs, the track guys, those, their differences are... identifiable in several ways. So all the way to the left, the BMP-1 is the oldest among them. Moving shit all over there. That has a regular cannon on it, which, it's just like a light tank cannon. And yes, it can absolutely cut through us. And it's got that first generation anti-tank guided missile on top, which can also absolutely fucking eat us. Everything on that is exceptionally deadly. The only thing that we can do is if we happen to get a good shot at the engine, which is where that exhaust port is on the forward right area of the hull, parallel where the barrel is, then we can kind of stop it in place. But the general rule of thumb is even with a BMP-1, run the fuck away. The BMP-2 replaces that cannon with the 30mm Shippanov autocannon that was on the BTR-80A, and it upgrades that ATGM to that tube fired on top. In both cases, though, those are partially externally set reloads, so they take a while for them to reload their ATGMs. However, again, the main weaponry on both of those is exceptionally deadly. The only thing that we can do to stop either of them is some shots at that engine port, but it's not worth trying for it. Just aim at it. If you have to harass it, try to hit it there, but do that while you're running away. All the way to the right, the BMP-3 is by far the most lethal of all of them. That is far better armored, especially with the up-armored kits that some of them have. This one doesn't, but some of them have a very intensive up-armor kit on them. The engine has changed from the front right to the rear right of the vehicle, where you're seeing some vents there. Yeah, that can be hit if it doesn't have the up-armored kit. And yes, we can technically stop it there, especially with some good 50 caliber rounds into it, but it's very difficult to do, and that thing's exceptionally deadly for two reasons. Number one, it both has a regular cannon and a Shippanov autocannon. Number two, it has ATGMs, and the reason you're not seeing them is because they are barrel fired. So when they decide to fire ATGMs at us, they can fire those just as fast as they can reload the main gun. They're horrendously deadly, and our main solution is to run the fuck away. Same thing goes for any tanks, okay?
Yep.
Cool. Done with those. Belgie. Oh, he's switching seats. Okay.
What was that, sorry?
Oh, you're good. You can switch seats now. Marston moved. Also, you could have turned out. But that's fine. Alright. So, you can clear those away, Belgrave.
Eating them away.
Thank you very much. Alright. So, the weapon system itself it's very simple dimple in terms of ranging. It is manually ranged with page up, page down in increments of 100 starting from 100. Unfortunately, with the model of UGWS that we're stuck with, because CUP won't let us update, we are stuck with one that's broken. So you don't even get to see what you're currently set to. Best rule of thumb, if you're trying to range for something, is slam that bitch all the way back to 0 with a bunch of page downs, and then tap page up as many times above 100 you think you need to get there. Alright? And the equal rule of thumb with that is, especially with the 40 millimeter, it's best to range that as you think it needs to be ranged. Fire off one or two, a very short burst of test rounds to see where they're going to land, and then light up after that. Capiche?
Yep.
The one other thing I'll mention is that you also have a 40 millimeter. Sorry, brain. You also have a canister curtain smoke launcher mounted on the rear of your turret. That is aimed by you and launched by the track commander, so there is often some coordination that's required to point that in the right direction if you have to fire a covering smoke screen. Okay, with that, this range is set up so that you can get used to both of your weapon systems at various ranges. So feel free to start lighting up on them and plinking out some rounds downrange.
Boogaloo the Russians.
And don't be afraid once you've identified a target with the Mark 19. Those couple rounds is good to identify, to range something. But once you've identified something you want to kill, don't be afraid to let loose a burst of 10 or 15 of them. Yeah, that's the shit right there. One very dead truck. One of the nice things with this vehicle, though, is if you range for one weapon system, you're also ranged for the other. It ranges them complementarily with each other. So if you're on the Mark 19 and you range for 1100 on something, you're also ranged for 1100 on the M2. You don't have to re-range or anything like that. That's something you'll discover with the Abrams. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. Boom. Now, as you're firing, a couple other, or really one other big tip for engagement and engaging in the most expeditious way possible. If you are firing at a static position or infantry, the Mark 19 is going to be your best bet in all cases. If you are firing at something that is moving and within about 300 meters, or infantry, anything within about 300 meters, the Mark 19 is also going to be most effective. If you are firing at anything that is moving and greater than 300 meters away from you, your Mark 19 is almost certainly going to be ineffective. I would strongly suggest at those ranges against moving targets using the M2, because you're going to have much faster response on target, and you're going to be able to engage much more cleanly against something. In all such cases, you'll typically want to aim with your M2 around the engine block of the vehicle. I didn't mention it before, so I'll mention it real quick now. If you happen to be engaging a BTR, or a BRDM, which are two of our most favorite light armored vehicles to go up against, the engine block is in the rear of the vehicle. So with a couple 50 caliber rounds to the rear of the vehicle, you can disable it very quickly. Belgrave, are you setting up the other range? Thank you. Just let me know when you're good. Alright, so while he's finishing setting that up, let me go into one other thing here. Fire commands and proper communication between gunner and other members of the vehicle on the track, especially the TC. When you hear, stand by on your fire and hold fire for a minute. When you hear a fire command from your track commander, typically what they'll come up with is something like it will call you out specifically. If they do it right, which I'm really bad at, and I've been trying to get better at it, if they do it right, you'll hear called out gunner to alert you that something is coming to you for instruction. Next part of that is going to be what you should be using to engage whatever target they have found. So I might say Mark 19 or M2, depending on whatever is needed. Then I'll say what the target is and the bearing of the target. So, for instance, gunner. Well, hang on. Excuse me. Before I say anything from that point, the response to that, when you swivel onto target, because they're just going to give you a bearing and what you're looking for, the correct response to that is identified if you see it. If you can't see it because there's shit in the way, obscured is the word to say. If you just can't fucking find it, then ask for clarification and get them to tell you what you're looking for or walk you on to being able to physically see it. But I might call out gunner Mark 19 truck at 330.
Identified.
Okay, fire. There you go. And when you fire at something, another part of that is when you're, the identified thing is acknowledging, and, it's an affirmative acknowledgement that you've received and, totally synced up with that initial direction on something. When you're given a fire command, the acknowledgement to that you're actually depressing your triggers is on the way, which is, less important with this. It's very important with the M1 so that we know when a round's actually being fired. In that case, we'll go into some other stuff, but with this, it's relatively simple. All right, gunner M2 GAZ 290 degrees.
Identified.
Fire. Have you identified it?
You said the GAZ?
Yeah. It's about
290.
It's about 290. It might be a little left of there. It's pretty close.
Well, there's a GAZ at 290 behind the Ural truck, or there's the one at 286, which is close.
Yeah, that's the closest one. I may give you a bearing like that that's within about 10 degrees. 5 either way. Because I may be approximating it. I can't see, if I'm, for instance, bumping around in third person or just trying to give you a very quick bearing to something, I may be giving you an approximate. It may even be just a cardinal direction, depending on what's going on. I may just say northwest, and then you kind of got to scan for it as I try to figure out how I can, identify where it is more clearly.
Because I forgot to put it down, here's the BRDM. Just off on your left.
Yeah, I think we're good with that. All right. Gunner M2 BMP 255 degrees.
Identified.
Fire. Wrong weapon. Aim for that engine port.
A little higher, a little higher, a little higher. A little higher, a little higher. There you go. Just after there on the vehicle. Just after that.
Yep, that's where you want to be. Right about where you're aiming. Yeah, and you see, even with that, it's not really doing very much. It takes a long time to disable an engine on one of those. Alright, ceasefire. Holy shit. Blew up. Nice. Okay. Gunner Mark 19 truck 288 degrees. Maybe 300 out. 268. My bad. I'm reading my numbers wrong.
Identified.
Fire.
What form of ammo?
Mark 19. And fire. Long. On target. Ceasefire. Nice. Belgrade, how are we doing with the other range?
She's gone.
What?
It's good.
Oh, golden. I thought you said gone for a second. I was like, what the fuck? Alright.
Yeah, if you want to have a quick
Park this puppy.
gander over it,
No, I can trust. I didn't want to hit that tool bag.
But you did. Is it the barrel hitting on the,
Yeah, it is.
the barrel?
There we go. Okay, cool. Everybody can get out.
I like it in there.
Alright, well, we're going to go to a practical segment of that and just use that a little bit on a live range. Okay?
Ooh.
Yeah. It's going to be range 8 is what we're going to. Alright. Everybody comfy? Did he make it? Is, what's his nuts in the gunner seat? Oh, yeah, he is. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Alright. Great.
Hey, Marston, you might want to keep your head in for this one.
I'll turn in once we start getting shot at.
Okay.
Alright, no death sentence, I'm turning back in. A little chuckle.
Look, that skull of yours belongs to the Marine Corps.
Don't lose it.
Alright, this range is hot. We can engage targets as we see them. Hey, Belgrave, do you actually want to drive this? So I can...
I was going to do some fun stuff.
Okay, you can do some fun stuff. I'll attempt to do TC work from the driver's seat, which is very accurate, actually. That's what I have to do. Well, usually I end up fucking doing it from the gunner's seat anyway, so fuck me. This is less fuck than I usually have to deal with. Alright, we're going to go up here, and we're going to see what we see from up here. Anything towards that range tower to the west of us is where we're going to likely see contact. I'm going to push up, see if we see anybody. Yeah, I have some movement 255. I don't know what that is. Ooh, we're getting hit by something. I'm going to push you back up again and see what that is. Do you see something about 240 maybe? 240 machine gun unknown. Can you see what it is?
It's BTR.
Okay, M2
240.
fire. Yeah, you can either cut in through the driver's compartment and take him out that way, or get in through the engine compartment in the rear. Whichever one works for you. If you see dismounts, we'll consider it destroyed. I can't see from here.
There's infantry as well shooting rockets, so I'm just gonna...
Okay, infantry you can get Mark 19. Oh, BTR. Right. 260. Mark 19 on him. Mark 19. Alright, ceasefire. We had a RPG slung at us, so I'm going to move us to another set of rocks. Ooh, that was another one. Alright, we're going to scoot over here for a second. Good kill on that. Well done. Very good stuff. I got some trucks and stuff at 220 if you want to, the infantry if you want to Mark 19, that's probably the greater threat. You see them? Infantry?
I don't see them.
Okay. We'll sort it out. We're going to go up another rock formation here. And yes, I know that you're now feeling the pain of the unstabilized turret. So that's why I'm calling out ceasefire when we start moving and stuff like that. Whoa, I don't know where that was from. I can't see where those infantry are that's launching rockets. I don't like that. I'm going to poke you out. You should be able to look to the right where you're looking. Hey, you see infantry there left to right across the road? Let them up.
Hey, firm.
Light them up. Okay. Good hits. Good hits.
Well, he took a 50 to the fucking day.
Nice
Watching
aiming.
that.
Feel free to pepper with 19 if it looks like there's more there. Depends on what you see. Looks like he fucking killed it though. Alright. We're gonna move up to the range tower here. Whoa! Hey, RPG gun from the front of the vehicle, 190 to 180. 190 to 180. Man close. Ooh. Ow. Drop 50 and re-engage. There you go.
It was 50 was reloading. Our tracks are out, by the way.
Yeah, that is what it is. Hey, Belgrave, can you remote that and me? And potentially either Marston or Chavez. Yeah, looks
it's
like
fixed.
it.
It's fixed.
I'm hurt. Are you hurt, Chavez?
Negative.
Okay. Belgrave, do you need me to step
out
out to fix?
Yeah, if you want to sit back behind cover on.
Yep. Alright. Back in. Hey, truck approaching. Gunner, truck 220 to 230. 230, a truck. Mark 19, engage. Ceasefire. Good kill. Okay, I'm moving us out. We're gonna fuck off through the woods. Ow, that was a sneakily disguised rock. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. What do you see? You see any targets that need to die?
I see several infantry.
Just that vehicle that's firing at 300. It's hard to see through the trees and everything, but there's some heavier vehicle that keeps launching shit at us. It's very hard to tell. Hey, I have a vehicle. Gunner, Mark 19, BTR 262.
Identified.
Fire.
Firing.
Short at 200. Lost. Backing up, backing up, backing up. Oh shit, we got tracks.
Tracks are gone.
Fucking tracks on this thing are just insanely easy to destroy. Yeah, continue with the M2, get him in that engine. Looks like you're trailing him a little. Looks like you're trailing him. On target. Yeah, that's a disable, I think. That's a clean disable. I think we're good on that. Oh, what the fuck? Belgrade? Hey, BTR 80 just passed us. That's just Belgrave being silly. It's a bit stupid. Okay, 80A is going to come out right to left. There you go. On that point. Left, 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 left. Alright, ceasefire. Belgrave?
Yes.
Can you fix tracks again?
Fixing. To be fixed.
Alright, cool. Good stuff. Hey, got infantry left as we move, 310. right. Alright, ceasefire. We're egressing. Hey, Belgrave. Boogaloo.
Did someone get hit?
Nope, I just egressed.
Oh, okay.
Did you, that guy who unfortunately ended up in front of my bumper?
What was that, sir?
Did you see the guy that unfortunately ended up in front of my hull?
Nah, I was, there was another BTR-80 Alpha out there that I was shooting at the rock that you guys were at, just...
Well, there was a guy, and he ragdolled.
That's spaghettied?
Yeah, very.
Thoroughly spaghettied.
He kinda, he did a goat simulator thing. Alright, anyway, we're gonna power
range
this
is
down
cold.
and move on to tanks.
Move on to the T-Nax.
How we
There
doing
were
there,
several
Chavez?
targets. That would have been a lot easier if there were less targets and if it was less of like a shit fest.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Because I thought, well, yeah,
It was
but
a
it
bit
was
shit festy. The BTR just like rolling up on us when we were already tracked.
Yeah,
Was
well,
a
plus
bit shit
I'm not really learning anything other than just fire at things. That's I'm not really able to put any of the actual things we learned into practice just because it was constant.
A little less of that would be good.
Let's just put it this way. It's just like the military. They like things on paper. So whether you've done it already or not, it just looks good on paper.
But no, that's good point, well taken. Completely with you on that. But what you did do was good, and one of the things that I do like to explore a little bit with that is ability to engage and function under pressure, which was very, very capable.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's what I was kind of putting you under pressure.
Yeah,
but
well,
in saying that, with the shitfesty part of it, there's only one of those people out of the entire AT rifle section that actually has a boomstick or something like that.
All right, so where we're going is the tank driver range on here.
You mind if I do the first drive through this one?
Yeah, if you want. Grab seats as you want. I didn't want to get in that seat. That really wasn't necessary.
Did you want the driver's seat?
No, I'm fine. I just did a silly. Oh, Marston's trying to get in.
Other side.
No, he's alright.
Oh, he's in.
Can you lock me? Okay, so you can
good.
You can pull it up and can you hear me okay, Chavez? I know it's a little loud in here. Alright.
I can hear you just fine.
Very good. Okay, so differences with the M1A1. The AAV is a 29-ton chunk of aluminum. This guy is, in contrast, a 61-ton chunk of composite steel and Chavo armor mix, which is monstrously fucking heavy. You can actually spool down just for a second because it's just loud as balls. And it is powered by a very decent turbine engine. Oh, am I not locked anymore? Okay. It's powered by a very decent turbine engine, the AGT 1500, which provides a massive amount of power to the vehicle, but it's just got a ton of mass. So yes, it does go quick. It goes almost as quick as the AAV, but it takes a much longer time to get up to that speed. It's
excuse me, as expected with tanks, it is armored very much towards the front, a little bit less towards the sides, and definitely a lot less towards the rear. If you think about the design of these, they were designed to defend against an invading Soviet army in the middle of Germany and sort of scoot backwards over a large portion of Germany while using prepared defensive positions to defend it against a Russian advance. So these things are designed to go very quickly, both backwards and forwards, and do it in equal measure, and are exceptionally well armored towards the front as a result. As far as driver characteristics, one of the biggest things to remember with this is that inertia is a great thing to help you if you don't let it fuck you. And so maintaining your speed, as long as you're able to maintain good control over the vehicle, can be a very helpful thing. And just knowing how to manipulate that to your best advantage is tremendous. And Belgrave, you can spool. So Belgrave is going to take us on a little run through of this course. This is a long-standing driver's course that far pre-exists my involvement with this section, and actually goes back to the guys who were in Titan before Spartan existed. They ran this course at the time. So Belgrave is going to give us a little run through of it. Yep, send it. And I will guide you on turns on this because I know it's long. It takes a pretty good memory to not get lost on it your first time. Even with the arrow board, you tend to want to take a weird turn here or there, which I certainly did my first time through it. It's a good idea to stay wide on this turn so that you can make these humps effectively. Again, it's about keeping your momentum and inertia going and using it very smoothly to put yourself over obstacles in a sensible way. Belgrave is doing a fantastic job of doing that. He's also staying very wide on this turn to, again, be able to make this turn without losing a lot of his inertia. And it might seem like it's quicker to go shallow on the turn, but actually taking it wide allows you to hit these obstacles going much faster, which reduces your overall time. And that's kind of the same thing with these as he's going over them. You're probably noticing that he's kind of leveraging the bounciness of the suspension to sort of push him up over the next obstacle here or there. All good things to be done. Little lumpy bumps. More of the same. Bears right and lines up for this obstacle. This is a minor test of accuracy, this one. It's definitely the lesser of the tests of accuracy in this. And it comes up to one of the greater ones. This is the famous Titan drinking game of try to not hit too many things, but that's a good place to stop if you need to stop. This is a great exercise in power off turning. As we were talking about, if you're just coasting along, it's always going to try to increase your turn by applying more power to the outer track, and that obstacle does very well for that. Up the tunnel with the chicane, and then this is where I forgot to turn my first time. And we follow.
Turned in.
Oh?
Just so I don't drown.
Water, right. Okay. These water obstacles do a lot to showcase some of the strengths and vulnerabilities of the M1A1 when going through water. It does ford pretty well, but it doesn't really like water all that much. I mean, obviously water has a lot of mass to it. It slows down stuff very well, so you will slow quite a bit. Another important thing, as you'll see, when Belgrave is going up these hills at the ends of these, he's not trying to shimmy from side to side. Some people have a big desire to do that when they're driving a tank,
And it's probably the worst impulse you can have, because that shimmying impulse will only reduce your speed. As I was talking about, when you're trying to turn via application of power, if you are applying the most forward power you can to get up a hill and you want to turn, the only way it's going to do this is by dropping power from the inboard track. It can't apply more power to the outboard track. So all that's going to do is reduce the actual power output that your vehicle is putting out. Whenever you want to get away from something or get towards something fast up a hill, find the angle that seems best suited to you and to what you need to do, and stick with that angle. And this one shows what a little bit too deep water looks like. When it actually comes up over the turret a little bit, that's or up over the hull, that's when it's potentially damaging. And you'll see actually that the engine is now slightly damaged as a result. We're still operating at full RPM, but we've definitely sucked in a little bit of water there. It's not entirely happy with us. If we went through that again, or maybe 2 more times or something similar to that, we could easily damage our engine to the point that it would either not work very well or stop working entirely, and then we'd be literally dead in the water. Can you relock? Thank you. And you just bung it along here to the finish. Cool. So, well demonstrated. Any questions about that generally?
Not really.
Okay, cool. Well, if you want to swippy swap out with Belgrave, then...
Yep, I'm going to use the restroom before I start, though.
Sure.
Gives me time to fix the track.
Oh, I'm itchy. I'm so itchy. Ah! Oh, that feels great. Oh.
It's fixed.
Good.
I refilled the fuel, is it?
Not really.
Like me it doesn't like me refilling the fuel.
Refueling the fill?
Filling the potato.
Break it out.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay. Where's my... Okay, so much the same as the last one. This thing, unlike the AEV, if you hold down shift, it does go significantly faster than if you don't. So that's a really good tip for this. But, like was said, it's all about conservation of momentum. Good?
Good.
Alright, whenever you're ready. People messaging me asking if they can take the oral exam instead. Rude. Rude, rude, rude. Not a bad lineup. Ooh, that happens a lot. Yeah, this one, if you don't bounce it just right, it does tend to catch on that, so it can be a bit of a fluke to bounce it that well, as Belgrave got it the first time. Good job, get a track on that first one. Alright, close enough.
He grazed it ever so slightly.
Yep, it counts. Stop it, headset. We're disconnecting. Get up. I just kind of imagine that noise like you're driving on rumble strips there. Bear to the right for the raised obstacle. Shut up, Echo. The chicanes. You're gonna bonk one, so everybody gets to take a shot. Oh, there's two. Hey, there we go. Power off turns. Very nice. Very smooth. Bouncy. There to the left is the water obstacle. Good. Nice. Very smooth. This one, just be careful not to go too far to the right on it as you get into it, because there's a big hole there. Man, that was like, that didn't slow you down at all. Jesus. This ain't going so badly. So this obstacle has a funny story behind it while you continue. There was one guy who did something very unexpected with that, and that left wall. He didn't do this on his first run, but on his second run, his qualification run. He just came zipping up to it, and it looked like he was just going to miss the water obstacle entirely, and he kind of did. Instead, he got the whole tank up on the left wall, and like fucking Tony Hawk skateboard grinded it along the wall out to the other end, with the whole thing at like a 10-degree angle away from the direction that he was actually moving. Came right off the other end of the wall and kept going.
Oh my god.
Fastest I've ever seen somebody go through that obstacle, and it was absolutely insane. But karma came back and bit him, because as soon as he got out of the last water obstacle and got to that little Y junction there, he hit the rock at the Y junction and flipped the tank. Yeah, it was a great cautionary tale. Alright, nice. That was a pass first try. Good stuff. That was well driven. If you don't mind, you can actually back this up back into its shed. There we go. Alright, spool down. We can all get out. Oh, yum. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. Off to range 6 again.
Range.
I'm going to sit in the lotus seat this time.
Hey. Alright, I'll take driver. Marston, you may have to get in the other side. Okay, there we go.
Demonstration tanks?
Yes, please. So, as you may have noticed, I have the ability as a driver to turn out and lock you in place, which is extraordinarily helpful when we're either A, around friendlies, in close proximity, B, in very confined quarters where we can't afford the back of the turret striking anything, or C, just we're going a long way and it's really boring and annoying for the gunner to keep having to align the turret to the track. The close quarters thing is a major thing though, because the back of the turret striking any object, any fixed object, is the #1 cause of us going to space. And I am sure at some point here you will earn your space wings by and I'm really not joking. You will earn your space wings by running into exactly that phenomenon, because the back of the turret has clipped something and the whole thing has just decided to yeet itself to Mars. Alright, so let me turn back in to unlock you. And I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
Open me.
I'm not really paying attention. Okay. 728290? 728090? Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So these are all pretty much first generation of each of them as far as I can tell. Going from the left to the right, you have the original T-72 with its squat but slightly squared off turret. It also has that heap-ass big machine gun on top. There's a updated version of it with the ablative armor on it stuck next to it. Oh, cool. Yeah, Belgrade is putting more interesting versions behind them. So the T-72 is identifiable by that squat but squared off turret. That's definitely the biggest way to identify it. Also, heap big machine gun without the remote control easily on there. The T-80, just to the right of that, is its original version, which has that much more T-55 style, very rounded turret on it. Significant improves to a lot of electronics in the things, but not too much different. The T-90 to the right of, okay, and then what is that, the T-80U or something to the right?
Yeah, T-80UM.
Cool. The UM to the right of that has a lot more ablative armor. Well, it has ablative armor on it, significantly more than, say, the 72's ablative armor version. It's significantly improved in a number of respects. Again, with all of these, the base model is the least dangerous of anything, and... Oh, alright, so you're pretty much up to date on all this stuff. That's fine.
Also, on top of that, I was an SSO, so these ones were the ones that I kind of focused on when I was doing GC SSO stuff.
Cool. Okay, so you're not really in need, so we can basically skip most of that. Thanks, Belgrave.
Okay. Do you want any more buried targets or bubble tops?
Ah, we're alright. Okay, so, couple things. Let me spool this fucking thing off, because it's really noisy. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, so weapons systems on this thing. The loader, if they turn out, has a 240 coaxial machine gun. which is only controllable once turned out because it's just handles and trigger. The Track Commander has a very nice tool that I think the Army's Crows version doesn't even match up to, which is the modernized version of the Upgun, no, not the Upgun weapon system, the Stabilized Commander's Weapon System, the SCWS, which includes 2 sight cameras and a very nice low-profile 50 caliber mount. That is one of my favorite tools on an armored vehicle anywhere because it's so much more compact than Crows or anything like that. It's thoroughly beautiful, and it's a great observation and spotting tool. For you have your M256 smoothbore cannon, 120 millimeter, which is your main weapon, as well as your coaxial M240 machine gun. These are mounted together in the same block. These are not separately mounted and do not separately elevate. This will become important when we talk about rearranging for things. Notably,
I'm very familiar with the rearranging because this is the main thing that we focus on when me and Rush did the training.
Ah, gotcha. Important also is that your sight aperture, I don't know if you mentioned this, your sight aperture is the box that's directly underneath the SCWS's barrel right now. That big sort of house with doors. Notably, that is stepped off to the side of your guns and therefore has a bit of a parallax effect depending on where you're ranging, where either you end up shooting parallel to it and all rounds end up going a little bit down and left, or you end up shooting cross-eyed because you've ranged very close and you're shooting further, and your round ends up traveling up and across your view area as you're looking at it. So those are some very common situations that will occur with funny range selections going on. Did Rush talk about the fire control system?
Go over it really quick and I'll tell you if he did or not.
The B button.
I'm sorry, your microphone's cutting out.
The B Bravo button on your keyboard.
No.
Okay. So that brings up your fire control system, which is a very helpful thing. So this thing is T ranged, the normal default letter key T to range on a target. It will not range on anything below 100 meters, but above that, if you blap T on an object, then you should come up with a range to that object based on the laser rangefinder that's incorporated in this thing. That generally works, but is sometimes not the ideal way to engage things. Sometimes you want to get rid of that entirely and just shoot parallel to your optics, knowing and understanding that everything's going to be a little bit down and to the left. And sometimes you need to manually set a range because you can't see the target yet, but somebody else can, and they've just fed you a range. In all such cases, this fire control system will allow you to do that. So if you're looking at that, which I hope you are, yes?
I'm sorry. I hope I am what? Your microphone's cutting out.
I was saying that I hope you're looking at the fire control system with your B key.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. On the right-hand column of buttons down towards the bottom, there should be one that says range. And if you click that, it should illuminate red. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. 2 things you can do with that. Either if you want to completely dump range, you can hit the clear button on the keypad area of that FCS. And I think I just saw your barrel twitch as it cleared that out. Or you can manually input a range. So if we're ready to
I put 300 in just now and hit enter and it adjusted.
Yep. So that's really helpful if we have infantry or one of our guys stepped out outside of the track feeding us range information on a target and we're still back behind cover. We can punch that in and just sort of poke out and hit it without having to worry about waiting for it to range, which really saves a lot of time if you're in that sort of situation. Okay.
It doesn't accept number keys. It doesn't accept the keypads.
Yeah, sadly, no.
Did Rush mention rearranging not only when you change weapons, but when you change round types?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I don't have to go over that at all either. Did he mention the different round types and characteristics?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't have to go over that either. Outstanding. So here is a basic.
But I know most of that stuff from real life too, because I'm a pretty smart guy. I like studying physics and that kind of stuff. So
cool.
Understandably, the difference between a massive a shell flying through the air is going to have different effects on it. So
yeah. All right. Well, that's very good. I'm glad to hear that. So here's a range with a bunch of targets on it. Get a little stationary firing practice in, and then we'll go to moving around and maybe some called out stuff while we're going at it. You are cleared to engage when you would like, by the way.
Yeah. For some reason okay, it's working on that one, but it's not working. Interesting. The laser designator is not working on that tank bearing 249. There's probably some bushes in the way.
There are some bushes in the way. You may be getting some weird reflections off of that. But there isn't going to be a terribly big difference there, because they are both relatively close. Oh, that was a good disable. Whew! Did you see that thing shoot off into the fucking stratosphere? That was wild.
What the fuck happened? I wasn't paying attention.
That round he just fired, it went through part of that tank, came back up out of the engine compartment, and zinged off into the stratosphere.
Huh?
I saw the red trail from it just go boom straight up. Prepping the other one, Belgrade?
What was that, sir?
Are you prepping the other one?
Already prepped.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice kill.
You're not gonna mind if I shoot infantry while he's moving around, are you?
Huh?
Being in the commander seat, you won't mind me shooting infantry while he's driving around, do you?
Not so much. You can shoot imaginary infantry in this particular case. That's alright. Rabbits. There's definitely a lot of rabbits. Gunner, BMP 290, Sabo.
Identified, but not loaded.
Okay.
Loaded. On the way. Never mind. I don't have depression now because I'm facing behind us.
We'll pick up something else here. Turn us back around on this shit. Gunner, tank. Woo-hoo-hoo. Jesus, that was lumpy. Gunner. Sabo, tank, 145 degrees.
Identified. On the way.
Fire. Good hit, little low, but target. Yeah. Alright, that's a disable. Cease fire. Gunner, Sabo, BMP 063 degrees.
Identified.
Fire.
On the way.
Target. Cease fire. Gunner, target, tank, 092 degrees. target. Fucking
Identified?
No. 09. Whoa. Wrong target. Let's try this again. Gunner. Sabo. Tank. 093 degrees. About 300, 400. Possibly behind a bush for you. 093. 093. Oh, there you go. Now 093.
Identified?
Fire.
On the way.
Target. Whoa, ceasefire. Alright, let's go back up this way a little bit. Gunner, target, tank, 315 degrees. Now 320, left to right as we move.
I don't know which one of those you wanted me to hit.
Oh,
There's
it's okay.
multiple.
Yeah, dude, as I moved, that got more complex.
Well, there was also just multiple.
Yeah, no, I know. They would like it just as I moved. Suddenly, I was describing 3 things with that. I was like, "Fuck, that wasn't what I was looking for." All right, you know what? We're gonna go to the active side of this because I think you're obviously pretty comfortable. It's not like there's any remedial work that needs to be done. Gunner, Sabo, BMP, 090 degrees. Oh shit, he just moved them all. Try again. Tank, 080.
Identified?
Fire! Target. Target. Ceasefire. I really didn't want to hit that, but I did anyway. Okay, turret front. Locking.
The really shitty thing is I switched to push to talk to make it easier on you, so I wasn't feeding back into you. But mouse 5 is zooming in.
Oh god.
So every time I'm like getting ready to like zoom in, I zoom out so that way I'm not going into the night vision.
Jesus Christ. Alright.
But see, it's just you. You're the only one who it's like that with. Russia
Well,
doesn't do that.
Thankfully, you're probably not going to be in my track too often, so you can probably avoid that.
Well, it's just this headset. It's a really nice headset, but the microphone is just so sensitive, and sometimes it's just specific people's voices.
Yep.
Rush, it doesn't
Resonant
do that
frequencies.
with. Russell, it didn't do that with. But if you have a little bit more of a higher, like more timbre voice, it picks it up way easier.
Huh. Oh well. Where's Boogaloo? Is he still in there?
No, he already went to wherever you're supposed to go next.
We're going back to range 8. Alright, I will Drive.
I'm going to switch to voice activation for this one just to make it a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, if I'm not trying to really think about what I'm saying, then that doesn't matter. It's totally fine. Here,
so in other words, you're okay with me switching to continuous transmission.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Go hot. That's totally what I want.
Understood.
Unlocking. Okay, range is hot. Movement 269, unknown infantry. RPG gunner. Coax 269. Alright, good engage. Ceasefire. Alright, we're gonna dot the I's and cross the T's here. Whoa. I gotta watch out for that. A good driver always knows which side the turret's pointing to. Gunnar, what round types do you have? Should be in your scroll wheel reload list.
I've got MPAT, HE Frag, and the G9. Yeah, and the Sabo.
Okay. Oh, Gunnar, tank! 227, Sabo. Oh, rock. Reload, advise when gun up.
Up.
Okay, received, stand by. Gonna poke you out the other side of the rocks here. Same bearing, same bearing, same bearing, same bearing, same bearing. Doubtful. Oh, nope. Yeah. Good drop on that. You can mop up. Ceasefire. Whoa! That was an RPG from somewhere. Looks like infantry, maybe 230 degrees. See anybody over there?
Negative.
Okay. We'll push us up a little bit here. Laterally. Oh yeah, RPG gunner 233, coax, 233. Whoa.
That's not the button I meant to push.
That ain't coax.
And now I'm so used to like having to push the freaking button. Is that a different thing?
Okay, gunner, Sabo 204. No, not that one, not that one. That was a waste of a round. That one's the one that we killed already. That was a different bearing. Gunner, be ready, 204, load Sabo. There's nothing there, there's a rock. You're not going to see anything here, but I want you pointed at 204.
Good to go.
Alright, pushing forward.
Identified.
Fire!
Turret's down.
Doubtful. Turret completely down. It's locked now.
Yep.
Boogaloo. Belgoon. Belgrave.
Might be remote controlling one of them.
Quick, somebody hit the Zeus key.
I did.
Who's driving?
Taylor.
Okay. I guess I gotta start like doing the on the way, so to let you know to stop. Okay, turn back up.
We're good. Alright, I'm gonna pop us backwards out of this rock formation here, and we should see the guy about 220, okay?
I'm good.
220. Alright, cool. Push it backwards. Lost.
He's identified. I got eyes on.
Yeah, I know. I lost the round when I was looking for it. All right.
It was low.
Be ready. Gonna push you forward again.
Ready?
Okay, pushing. Target.
Ready to fire.
Okay. Pushing forward again, same spot. Oh, ceasefire. He's down. All right, pushing out to the right. Mop up as we go. Lose angle there. We're going to push around them a little bit, and we'll come back up from another side, see what targets we can get. Gunner observation. Gunner, load MPAT.
Loading.
Okay, be ready. BTR 175 left to right. It's moving. Call one up.
Loaded. Loaded.
Okay, 185. BTR pushed up. 195. 200.
Identified.
Fire. Target.
Dismounts.
Very good. We'll call that a disable. Pushing back again. Moving to another spot. That was a good engage. I like that.
I think we just received a round from the rear.
From the rear?
Yep.
Gunner, load Sabo. I don't see shit over here. Whoa, that was to the right.
Right.
Gunner, 250, tank. 260, 270.
Identified.
Fire. Target. Spinning around him. Okay, looks like dismounts. Mop up, mop up. Good work with that. Gunner, Sabo, tank, 240. Maybe 235. Fire. Target. Kind of doubtful though.
Loaded.
Alright, be ready. I'm going to push you out, same spot. And we're going to keep moving.
Firing. Missed.
Long. I'm going to keep moving. We'll come back to that guy in a second. Round count?
4 with 2 volleys remaining.
4 Sabo, okay. Gunner, tank, 110, 100. 110 to 120. Oh shit, there's another one there. Woo!
There's multiple.
Okay. Target. Dismount.
Okay. You did a little dance.
Oh, Gunner, tank 141 to 145. He's left to right as he moves. Long. Target.
That was fucking. Oh my god.
Gunner, tank 100, Sabo. 100, immediate, tank, Sabo. Target. Repeat. Target. He's moving. We're punching him in the side. He's glancing along his armor. We're going to back up and let him have it from somewhere else. I think that hit rock. Hey, are we out of Sabo?
Negative.
Okay. Hey, we're gonna punch up in this gap.
Actually, A-firm out of Sabo. We're with MPAT right now.
Oh, he's doing a little dibby dance around us. Hey, Gunner, be ready. 050. East. Gunner east. Gunner east. Gunner tank east. Gunner, rounds available.
Identified.
060 fire. We're gonna get behind him. Fuck this guy. None of this fury ass bullshit. Alright. He's still there. He's 020030 now. Alright. Alright. Continue engaging as...
Oh, we are rubber banding very badly.
I noticed. Our driver.
Huh. Well, that's
Taylor. Rest in pepperonis.
What the fuck just happened?
He lost connection.
Egress out of the area back to the staging point.
Tell me which way to go and I'll drive us there.
Right.
Follow this road down until you get to the intersection and then just cut straight across the road.
Just tell me which way to turn when. I can barely hear you in this thing.
Just drive. Hey, can you lock the turret? All the enemies are gone. You don't need to worry.
Oh, okay. So if you turn out
in the driver's
right now,
seat, can you turn out? Yeah, turn out.
Yeah, you could push Control.
Can you
E
put
and
the
it'll
turret
lock
up a
the
bit?
turret.
I can't see. Thank you.
Yeah,
Put,
whoever's driving,
push Control
wheel
E.
and turn out. And turn out.
Or you can hold Control and push E. There you go.
Alright. Turn right here.
Echo 3 Bravo, Oscar 2 Tango on M call.
Send it.
When you guys are completed with that, can you TP to the USS Barton?
Affirm, Wilco.
That'll be our last module.
Currently parking the track. Time now.
Awesome. Good job, by the way.
Oh, God.
Please advise, I've been teleported into a wall.
That was unexpected.
Oh! I used the glitch. I did it.
You made it out?
Oh, I was on the other side. I was on the outside.
I know, I saw that. I saw you just... That was unexpected.
The skill. I assume we're doing
Taylor.
Oh, it happened to you too. How'd you get out of that?
Oh, it's real easy.
He got out.
V-jump.
You just lay down right here.
Good
right
lord.
next to it,
That was
and you
freaky.
just crawl through.
Alright.
What the fuck?
Well, I'll fix that at some point, but, for now...
It's called SOC glitch, guys. It's existed since, the early
I spawned inside the
2006s.
wall.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of OSHA violations.
What happened, Taylor?
But we did this one
I
already
crashed.
too, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
We also went
So you
over
don't
with
need
the
that,
tanks. We also went over being a track commander and doing the move forward from sitting over a hill. You're doing like the duck and move movements.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Staying hold
burn
down.
drills.
Yeah.
Cool.
We did those. We did all of this stuff. Actually, while we were doing this is when you came in and said we couldn't do the train.
Gotcha. Well, then you've covered the content of it then. So I think
I assume what we're doing is you were going to have us drive these out to the beach.
Yeah, it was going to be a demonstration of how an AA happens.
Yeah, they have the things in the back.
Things in the back?
They're little thing.
No,
I can't hear what he's saying.
I'm talking about the actual like planning and execution of an amphib assault, not just physically driving it.
Oh, okay.
Did he go over that?
No.
Okay. Well, then I will show you one thing real quick so that you get used to...
He was going to, but then you said we couldn't do it.
Okay. I will show you one thing real quick so that you can get used to the concept of it and comfy with it. So where we are in Bethos Bay, you should see our markers here, yes? Okay, cool. So when we plan an amphib, there's considerations that go into it. So we're typically looking for a beach that's going to support our purposes, which is mostly developed by the task force commanders. We don't have too much say in that apart from technical considerations of the beach. Once we've identified a beach, I'm actually going to draw a tree up to the northwest of where we are by the tank test range, so you'll see it a little more clearly at its full size. We might identify that with they're all identified by a color initially, though sometimes there may be multiple sub-beaches. So in this case, this one might be yellow 1 that I've identified there. That might be yellow 1 there. If we decided to have another one adjacent to that, then we might have like yellow 2 or something also there. That's how we identify all of our landing beaches, is by...
I don't mean to interrupt, but are you going in any of these? Or I can just sit in there in case... I guess I gotta go AFK for a second.
Yeah, yes. If you can jump in the back of this one that I'm pointed at. That's fine. So... yeah, we always identify by color and then number for sub-beaches for our landing beaches. They're never called LZs. That's a fucking aviation term. They're landing beaches. When we actually create a tree for these, a landing tree, that's our planning tool for these, we are considering that our ship is going to drop us off about 2 clicks out. It's going to be usually 1.5 to 2.5 clicks out, depending on the needs of the day and how hazardous the beach is. So what you're going to see is kind of a line defined indicating the bounds of the beach. So we might have that and that, indicating that's our boat lane, essentially, that we're going to travel down to get to yellow 1, exactly. At the point that we're going to be done staging and lined up to go to shore, we're going to have what's called the line of departure across the top of that. That's our initial point. At that point, we're all lined up and we're committed to our assault at that point. That's sort of our final clearance point before we begin the assault. And at that point, we kind of go weapons free on whatever we can see and engage, and Ace and whatever fleet support we have will go weapons free on whatever they're engaging. That's when the fire really heats up and we're actually pushing waves down towards the beach.
Where'd Marston go?
He's in the back of an AV. When we get closer to the beach, about 200 meters out, there's typically something like a dotted line like that will indicate the 1 minute mark. At the speed that the AVs travel in water, 1 minute equals about 200 meters. So that gives us an opportunity when we call out 1 minute to the task force commander or the JTAC. That gives them the opportunity to get a hold of their aviation element and any other supporting fires that are going on and get them to cease fire. By the time they do that, we're basically at the beach and getting up onto it. So that gives adequate time for them to cut it out so they're not punching us as we're getting up on the beach. We can, people think of beach landings as being very much World War II style, where everybody's getting out on the beach and pushing up from there on foot. The big advantage of the AV is that that's no longer the vibe. We try to push as far inland as we reasonably can with safety.
Hey, Taylor?
Yes?
I'll tell you after. Okay.
We will push as far inland as we reasonably can. If that means that we do have to get people out on the beach, then we have to do that. But we prefer not to. Instead, if we can push, a couple hundred meters or even a couple kilometers inland and really let people out where they're behind all the bullshit that the enemy has set up to defend against us, then we will absolutely do that if we can. We'll try to come up with a plan to make that happen. So that's the basic functions of how that goes. The other portion of the landing tree that isn't shown there is called the return lane. So we would have something like, over here on one side of it, a very small part of the tree that defines a separate lane from the boat lane. So we would have everybody in the boat lane pushing down towards the beach, but whether it's out here in the water or whether it's up on ground, if we have like a CASEVAC or prisoner recovery or something like that, or whatever the case, somebody's gotten damaged out here, if they need to return back to the fleet, then they make their way over to the boat lane and make their way out that way. Because if you have somebody coming up this way and somebody coming down this way in the boat lane, then you have kind of that excuse me, pardon me game that happens where everybody plays, everybody dance. So, yes, exactly like you put there. And this up here, just terminology-wise, is the launch area. In terms of actual conduct of this, when we launch from a ship, I won't go through it because I guess you went through part of it already. I won't go through it physically. But when we launch from a ship, we'll either typically be parallel to the beach or perpendicular to the beach. However that ends up happening, if we're perpendicular, then we end up doing, kind of lines out to get everybody online so that they're all in position with the line of departure, and we'll call that with individual vehicle movements and having people slow down and everything like that. It's far easier typically though if we launch parallel, because then when we come along it, then we can just have everybody pivot together. So you'll hear different commands. You'll hear that's a funny looking amoeba.
This is the USS Spartan.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I love you, Bert.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So, if in hearing this when we're in the water, you'll hear multiple commands from whoever is leading the wave or directing the wave as Red Crown, which is typically the AA coordinator's call sign. You'll hear that a wave is directed to follow in trail on a particular heading, and therefore everybody's kind of doing follow the leader and just moving to the point that the guy in front of them was when they're turning. Or doing Jesus Christ. The artwork in this unit is amazing. I tab out of the map for 1 second and that happens. Or you'll hear commands of a wave to pivot in position. And that's typically when we're parallel. That's that last command given before we cross the line of departure, where we're told to pivot in position in the direction towards the landing beach. If you the one other thing is that I forgot to mention with naming of stuff. So Red Crown is normally the landing director's call sign, which is typically me, and that runs in direct conjunction with the landing unit leader, who is the senior ground combat element member. The senior landing unit element guy. So company HQ typically. And when we define a wave of a wave of AAVs heading towards the beach, they're named by the beach. So if we're the first wave going to yellow 1, we're wave 1, yellow 1. If we're the third one going in, we'd be 3, yellow 1. Capiche?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fucking Jesus Christ. What are you drawing a bong? What is that? It's kind of an AH1, but it's also kind of something erotic. Okay, and the other thing is, like, if you ever get to this point where you're leading our element on a task force because you're the senior AA representative, when we're doing an amphib assault, it's generally good practice and generally Marine doctrine that the landing unit leader is invited to take the track commander's seat in the AA unit leader's track. So you would have Captain Graff or whoever sitting in your TC seat so that you can directly coordinate with them and operate the landing together that way. But that's basically all I got, unless there's more to be drawn.
No, I think we've drawn it all.
It just sounded like they just smacked it. It just sounded like someone just got backhanded. They're just dying.
Hold on.
What the fuck? The fact that I've been able to finish a single sentence during this while that's been drawn is just insane.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for whoever you backhanded.
Okay, it was myself. So, not concerning.
You guys have to open up the Discord and go to the ACP channel.
Oh no. I'm pretty sure I don't have access to that, so.
Wait.
I'll keep it in the 15 Discord. In our channel in there. Oh, God. Alright, well, notwithstanding the dubious drawing, do you have any questions? No?
Other than?
God, that is just...
I mean, I have like a million questions about these drawings.
No, not with... not, you know, other than the dubious drawings, are there any questions? Or are you just crying too hard to think?
I'll take the silence as he's muted his mic, just bust out laughing. Oh no, I gotta look at the map. Oh no.
It's gone silent.
Yeah, they probably muted their mic just to finish up their little chuckles. I mean, for Taylor, apparently it's... I don't know what. Some of them sounded like someone kicked a puppy.
I'm a compost plat.
I don't even know what this has become. Okay, we're done with our MOS training. You're qualified. Fuck off.
Hold up.
You have to mentally soak in Bill Graves' drawings before you're qualified.
Oh, what did you do?
He's adding color.
No. No. Be gone with ye. Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm gonna DC. Congratulations.
And how long will that be then?
It's a disease.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh, fuck.
There we go. I changed my TeamSpeak avatar.